I slept with him just for revenge, a married woman and a rich, handsome guy. But when I tried to leave, he pushed me into a deeper abyss. You can't leave me, or I'll make you wish you were never born. He said his love for me was destined from the moment we met until death. It was past 10 at night when Isabel Lopez took a cab home. A black sedan was parked outside her building. As she walked closer and noticed the license plate, A7602 looked familiar. The car door opened. Out stepped Tony Camel. She frowned slightly and looked at him. "What are you doing here?" Tony Camel was clearly stung by the impatience in her voice. His eyes dimmed a little as he said, "Do you really hate seeing me that much?" "Glad you know." She walked forward, but Tony Camel reached out and grabbed her arm. "Let go." She yanked her arm free. Tony Camel stepped in front of her and blocked her path. He handed her a folder. "I came because the property transfer paperwork is done. Here." Isabel Lopez looked at him, then slowly reached out and took it. "Oh, thanks for the trouble." "Isabel, if it weren't for this paperwork, would you still not want to see me?" Isabel Lopez looked past him, her expression cool. "Nope." Tony Camel stared at her and let out a bitter laugh. "So you still hate me, huh?" "Probably. After all, he'd hurt her so deeply. Even wounds needed time to heal. Scars, too, needed time to fade. Did it ever cross your mind, the reason you still hate me is because you still care?" Isabel Lopez pulled her gaze back and stared at the once familiar but now strange, handsome face. She let out a cold laugh. "Tony Camel, your skin is really thick. Let me make it clear I don't care about you anymore." "Is that so?" Tony Camel looked at her, his eyes dark and deep. His Adam's apple bobbed slightly. The words caught in his throat finally slipped out. "But Isabel, I care. I care about you." "Did you forget to take your meds before leaving the house?" She narrowed her eyes. "You think this is funny?" He looked at her, his eyes locked on hers. "Isabel, the truth is, I've always cared. But Latina is much more fragile than you. She needed my protection. You always came off too strong." "Shut up!" Isabel Lopez's face turned stormy. Her eyes were ice cold. "So strong women don't deserve love. What, you care about me and love Latina at the same time? Wow, Tony Camel, you really make me sick. You're this angry because you still can't face me calmly. Isabel, you still care?" Isabel Lopez looked at him. She suddenly remembered what Ana Mara said earlier that afternoon. "Still got feelings, huh?" "Tony Camel, I don't need to prove to you that I don't care. But maybe it's time I actually tested it for real." As she spoke, she leaned forward. Her arms wrapped around his neck. Her lips moved toward his. She used to kiss him like this too boldly, with force. Back then, she only kissed his cheek. But every time she got that close, her heart would pound, and her face would flush red. Their lips were barely 0.1 millimeters apart. Then she stopped. "Turns out, I really don't feel a thing anymore." With that, she slowly let go of him. Her heart was calm. So calm, in fact, that in that moment of closeness, all she could think of was Jason Smith. "You can go now. From this point on, don't show up in front of me again." "I hate you because you hurt me. Tony Camel, you know me. I've always been clear on what I want and what I don't." Tony Camel froze for a second, then smiled. "Yeah, guess I really did overthink it. Sorry for the pain I caused you. I'll do my best to stay out of your life from now on." He turned, got in his car, started the engine, and slowly drove out of sight. Isabel Lopez withdrew her gaze. She was just about to turn around when suddenly headlights lit up in front of her. High beams blasted into her eyes. She raised a hand to block the glare. The high beams turned off. She looked over. The low beams stayed on, and she could now clearly see the carrot was unmistakably Jason Smith's Maybaba. He had 5 or 6 cars in his garage, but his favorites were this Maybaba and a Lamborghini. She recognized them. So, how long had he been sitting there? And what did he see? Isabel Lopez thought about how close she'd just been to Tony Camel. They had nearly kissed. If Jason Smith saw that, he would definitely get the wrong idea. With that in mind, she walked toward him. As she got closer, Jason Smith stepped out of the car. "You! Hey, what are you doing?" He grabbed her without warning, spun her around, shoved the back door open, and forced her into the back seat. The door slammed shut. His tall frame pinned her against the plush leather seats. His lips crashed onto hers. The kiss, her lips ached. She frowned and struggled. But the more she resisted, the tighter he held her. In that moment, his whole body radiated a cold, predatory rage. It was possessive, wild, and violent enough to shatter beauty into pieces. She could tell this wasn't the gentle, considerate Jason Smith who always catered to her. This was a lion pushed past his limit. His kiss was like a storm, relentless and suffocating. She collapsed under him, her body limp. Only then did he stop. But his long, strong fingers gripped her chin tight, forcing her to meet his eyes. "Tell me, have you been seeing him behind my back? Do you still love him?" His voice was low and icy, each word laced with fury. His eyes, deep and mesmerizing like an endless ocean, now shimmered with a faint red like a wildfire of jealousy, burning hotter and hotter. She looked at him, quietly. That's when it hit her Beat had never truly believed her. Never believed her feelings were real. Never believed she had moved on from Tony Kamel. "I asked you a question. Answer me," he growled, enraged by her silence and the detached look in her eyes. Yet, even like this, he couldn't bring himself to truly hurt her. The fire in his chest, jealousy, anger, heartbreak, had nowhere to go. He pinned her down, slamming his fists onto the seat beside her, again and again. "Why won't you talk? Is it because you still can't let him go? Did you realize you still love him? Is that why you kissed him?" Isabel Lopez felt a fire in her chest, too furious at how little he trusted her. But then again, she had leaned in on her own. From Jason Smith's angle, it probably looked like she kissed Tony Kamel. And she had never told him, outright, that she no longer loved Tony Kamel. She sighed so softly, it was barely audible. Then she reached up, wrapped her arms around his neck, and said slowly, "I didn't kiss him. I never actually kissed him." She felt the man above her freeze. She let out a small laugh. "Jason Smith, either get off me, or let me explain." He shifted to the side, pulling her tightly into his arms. His voice was hoarse and low. "Isabel, I'm sorry. You don't know how much jealousy burns." Isabel Lopez stayed quiet. Jealousy? She knew that feeling all too well. "I was insanely jealous of Tony Kamel, jealous of how trashy he was, yet still had your love for 11 years. You never forgot him. And me. I haven't even heard you say you like me." His voice grew quieter, careful, as if he was scared something might shatter. She understood what he was afraid of breaking was his heart. This foolish man was trying, in his own way, to ask her for a promise of love. Tony Kamel asked me if I hated him. I said yes. He said hating him meant I still cared. I thought, maybe I don't. Maybe I really don't care anymore. But maybe my hatred was just a mask. As she said that, she felt his arms tighten instinctively. She smiled. I kissed Tony Kamel before only on the cheek. But even then, just getting close made my heart race. I blushed, felt shy, giddy. That's why I wanted to test it this time. And when I leaned in, all I could think about was you. So I stopped, right before our lips met. "Jason Smith, I didn't kiss him." He held her, waiting quietly for her to continue. But even as he tried to stay calm, he couldn't hide the hope rising in him. His heartbeat thundered louder and faster, thump, thump, thump. She wriggled slightly in his arms, then lowered her head and kissed his lips. "Jason Smith, the one I like now is you, and only you." He looked at her. His lips brushed hers. Once, then again, just like. And I already feel so lucky, so content. Isabel, I love you. I love you, down to my bones. The deeper it is, the more it hurts to rip out. If I ever lose you, I think I'd die. She laughed. Somehow, the way he said something so cheesy with such a straight face was actually kind of cute. She leaned in and kissed him again, tasting him. Young Master Smith really does have sweet lips. He held her close and gave her a deep kiss. They say love is about sticking through thick and thin. Better kiss you more so your lips turn as sweet as mine. I don't like saying mushy stuff. Cool. Then we won't talk. We'll act. He grabbed her wrists, pinned them gently above her head, and leaned down to kiss her. The car lights went off. The inside of the car was as dark as night. They could feel each other's breath, hear each other's heartbeat. In the darkness, they gave in to their passion completely, wildly. That night, Jason Smith finally, successfully made it to Isabel Lopez's bed, her actual bed, in her actual room. From that night on, he shamelessly showed up at her place every day. Isabel Lopez had hired a part-time helper, but cooking really wasn't her thing. She'd sometimes make simple soups. Most of the time, it was takeout, dining out, or mooching meals at Ana Mera's. But after Jason Smith started coming over, he cooked delicious food for her every day. That was a hard temptation to resist. Soon, even the neighbors knew Isabel Lopez had a boyfriend. Sometimes, Jason Smith would make fancy little desserts and have Isabel Lopez give them to the neighbors. And just like that, he won their hearts. The aunties, uncles, and grannies in the building often praised him to Isabel Lopez, singing his praises non-stop. Such a handsome young man, and he can cook. And he treats you so well, Isabel, you better lock this one down. Exactly. Marry a guy like that, and you're guaranteed to be the happiest woman alive. Isabel, marry him soon. Don't let someone else snatch him up. Isabel Lopez would always just laugh it off, but she couldn't help wondering, did Jason Smith secretly bribe all the neighbors? On the 66th day of officially dating and the 33rd day of officially living together, Isabel Lopez found herself seriously starting to consider marrying Jason Smith.